I am Diwin Daley. Yes, I like to use my middle name. No, I'm not Irish. That's a long story. I am as you hear, civil engineer technician. The difference between a professional engineer and they go to school for civil engineering, they get their degrees. But we do the same functions, but at the end of the day, how I look at it, so we're a professional engineer has a rubber stamp, certified project, and it's good. I do all the footwork, do the payments, do the connections, do all the stuff. So I can still do those functions. I can still even get in the planning stage. I can still do the design stage. But I just can't say, I can't sign this project off to say it's official legally. Been in the field since 17 years. I started my career in the Georgia Department of Transportation way back in 1997. I'm telling my age here. When I started, it's not my field. I was all IT. How I got into the field, the state of Georgia had an application, invites, notification. They were looking for an inspector for civil engineering projects. I said, why not? Because I was doing a little penny ante job, and I took the test and I got a 96% on it. Went, did the interview. I guess I aced it. Of course, I'm still working in the field. And next thing I know, like, hey, you got the job. All right, great. What am I supposed to do? Have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I didn't know the basic functions of a substructure, a superstructure, and how those things work and what my responsibilities are. So I got thrown in the fire. I am blessed, I am thankful that I had a great mentor, teacher, and she was my project engineer who brought me through the ranks. I'm still friends to this day. She's still trying to get me to go out to North Carolina to work out there with her at the 20 pushers. And basically I learned from her. And what she did was my first project, she's like, hey, it's time you get out to this. Here's a $500,000 project. It was a simple ADA pedestrian project, handicap. And she's like, hey, here's the contract, here's the project, here's the pre-con, you run the pre-con, you run this, you run that, and you coordinate with the contractor and you have to pay it. No idea what I'm doing here. Yes, I have this degree, but this degree doesn't tell me, it tells me in theory, in real life situations, what do you do? So I had my bumps and bruises. I had a contractor who tried to, I'll be professional, try to run one over me. And I had to learn from those mistakes. And one of the things I still learn to this day, that you don't hear this, always hear the saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. When it comes down to the end of the month and it's time to pay a contractor, your pen can dictate if that contract is going to get paid, if that contract is going to get deducted, if that contract is not going to get paid. So even though you may have conflicts clashing, but at the end of the month, they are your best friend. Because they know you have the power to say, no, I'll get to deduct this and deduct. All right, so I've in Department of Transportation, I've had fiber optic projects. I had bituminous projects. I've had started my structurals down there. So I had like concrete and sidewalks and all that. Throughout that time, I learned how to build my structural education. And then I started doing bridges. Bridges are some of the most fascinating things to do. And when I say fascinating, if you off by 1/16 of an inch, the bridge is not right. It almost has to be exactly perfect. Or basically it has to be perfect. Because like I said, you have energy and weight and things like that. If the bridge is off, it can collapse. You got to take it down. It's a lot. So as I told you before the lovely lady came, my legacy project is the St. Croix Crossing in Minnesota to Wisconsin. My other project, I guess it's a legacy project, out of Eden Prairie from Flying Cloud Airport into Shakopee. That's the longest bridge in Hennepin County I worked on. So if you ever go out there on 61 and you see these nice, tall 5, 6-story walls along the side to keep the actual earth stabilized. I did all 9 of them. And on top of that, the bridge. Currently, my project is basically right up the street. Everybody know where North Memorial is? There's 3 bridges right there at the shadow of the hospital. I'm taking them down, we're rebuilding them. We took that, one is open now. We're gonna pour the bridge deck 3rd, 4th week of May. And then we just took down last Monday, the on-ramp onto Bodmer Boulevard. So we did the demolition. And then tomorrow we start with the earthwork. Now, my field is structures, but I got a curveball. I had never did earthwork. So I'm on this team. They have enough structural engineers. I have to do the earthwork. I don't like to play in dirt because guess what? Fun fact, I'm a New Yorker, so I don't like to get dirty. But I had to learn. It is fascinating too, because like I said, the different type of soils that you have, how water affects land and soil, all these things. So I had to learn, and how roads really are stabilized as we build the grade to stabilize roads. One thing I have learned over the years, and I'll say this to everyone, you may agree, but civil engineering affects your life every day. Every time you turn the water on in your sink, the water has to go somewhere. Every time you get in your car and you drive, civil engineering. Where your house stands, civil engineering. So civil engineering has those aspects that is essential to our daily lives. It's not just we drive on the bridge, we ride on the roads, but flush the toilet, it has to go somewhere. So those are the things that I've learned. Now, within those 17 years, I have decided, because I don't think it's just especially for Minnesota, I believe it's nationwide, there's not enough Black or Hispanic people in the field. I normally don't say this, but I'll say this. Dr. Wolf knows. Come on in. I am, in my department, transportation, I am the only Black in my department for the last almost 5 years. And it gets difficult because, like I said, I get pounded with all the stuff and there's expectations and things like that. And then I can't say, I don't want to do it today, because I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for people who are going to come behind me. The problem is, there's not a lot of people in my field to come behind me to take on those aspects. You don't have to just do civil. You can do design. You can do water resources. You can do environmental. There's a lot of things in the engineering field that you can do. Why I love civil engineering, I think I said earlier, my projects I can touch, but electrical is behind the ceiling or a wall. Mechanical is definitely behind the wall, and you can't really see. You know they're functioning to make things run, but I can actually see them. So I deal with substructures, the earth, and everything about it, environmental. I deal with substructures, bridges, walls, fiber optics I deal with a lot too. So all of those things come into play. Some of my other responsibilities are signal and lighting, landscaping, project management. Even though I am certified nationally, I don't like it. But it's a lot of responsibility because you're in charge as a good steward of the whole project. And you got to make sure that your contractor who's working for you, because remember, if you're in that position, you are the owner. They work for you. They may say they don't work for you, but you're the owner because you're part of the agency, public or private, who is in charge of this project. So there's a lot of responsibilities. You have to coordinate with your contractors to ensure that the job is done by cost, efficiently, and by time. Contractors, like in this project I'm doing at North Memorial, is a 2.5-year project. Well, there's an incentive why they want to get finished earlier, because they have a bonus of $1 million sitting there waiting for them. If they finish early, no problems, everything works out. Because they finished on time, Hennepin County and the feds are going to give $1 million as a bonus. But on the responsibility of the inspector side is to make sure that they're doing it correctly so they just don't get the $1 million. And then 5-10 years later, we have to come back and fix all these problems. So that's what I normally do. It's very fun because you learn everything. You don't learn everything. You learn a lot. There's nothing that you don't learn daily. Even if you've been in the field for 30 years, technology moves so fast, you learn new things. So that's why I stayed in the field so long. Moving forward, where I see myself, I see myself more of a, I would say I see myself more as a, not good steward, but a spokesperson to get more nationalities, Black, Hispanic, Asians, because like I said, we're being left out in the cold of these fields, and they're good paying fields. Civil is of the three, mechanical and electrical, civil is going to be the last as far as national scale, but they're still very good paying fields. I work a lot, especially now the season has started for construction. Average working time, minus St. Croix, I average about 12 to 14 hours a day. St. Croix, I average 16 to 18 hours a day. Because of the big scale project, how much money is involved, and the specialty of that project. So if it's something that you're really looking for and you're very good in academic studies, especially in math, not saying you have to be good in math, but if you have a grasp and concept of math, if you have a concept of how to look at a plan and read it, that's half the battle. If you can read a plan, that's half the battle. Because a contractor can't say, well, at station 235 plus 42, there is a manhole cover that's missing. But you looked on the plan like, well, that was installed. Because they want to charge it again so they can redo it again so they can get more money. So you have to be careful and catch the mistakes and things like that. And then when reading plans, sometimes the plans are not 100% correct. A lot of times I have to, and my colleagues have to redesign the plans because of the real world activities. When a designer makes a plan, and if they don't go out in the field, when they use MicroStation AutoCAD, it looks great. Mm-hmm. But when you get out there, realistically, it doesn't work. Engineer-wise, it doesn't work logically. And we have to sit there to plan it out, redesign the plans, tell the contractor this is what we want, because it makes it more efficient and its functionality will last longer. So I do a lot of stuff. I do way too much stuff, but what I'll say is it's a rewarding field. I don't regret it. Now, I am going to tell my age. I'm 50 now, so I'm getting a little bit older now. So,
man, you're old.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, mama's fed me too. So now I am looking to transfer back into IT. Not because I want to leave the IT field. It's really a young person's game. Mm. As you get older, especially in civil, you're outdoors. It's not like some of my colleagues in design, yes, they sit indoors all day long. But if you're on the inspection side, you're in and out, you're in and out, you're in and out. So it wears on you. And as you get older, you can't do the certain things and catch certain things like a younger person can. So that is it. Like I said, projects, I fly over my project. Every time I go home to New York, I see the St. Croix cross and I look at it and I know I did something, I left something for humanity, even when I leave this earth, because that bridge is supposed to be in this same structure for 100 years before they even start repairing. I pray that that's the case, because it was a lot of work, a lot of time, and $2 billion worth of work done on it. $2 billion worth for the adults had to pay out of our taxpayers to build that bridge. And something else about that bridge too, it took an act of Congress during the Obama administration. It took them 50 years to release that project. It's been on the books for 50 years before it broke ground. So like projects that we deal with in Hennepin County, what you see outside, they're active projects, but there's a lot of projects that sit back. There may be projects, I know of a project right now that we're gonna do in about a year from now. It's been sitting in Hennepin County archives for 10 years. They've been waiting to build this project. They just got the funding to do it. So there's a lot of things with civil engineering that you just got to be prepared. You got to read your plans. You got to focus on the things that are key and important. And just use what you know best. Use your mind, use your knowledge, use your resources. All those things come to play and they help you. So that is it. I could talk all day, but I think that's the basis of it. I know you understand the field. Anyone have questions for me?
Any projects you've done in the past, like from the infrastructure bill that just got passed, or like
Not
new
yet.
projects? Okay,
Well, those
Waiting.
projects, the
It's gonna
projects that are
happen.
sitting in the archives, they're coming.
yeah.
They're coming.
Free money.
I guess it's like on the, like for the process of like building one of those projects, like it's typically how many people are involved. Like,
Depend on the scale of the project. So I would say, if I remember correct, the St. Croix, they had 31 inspectors. The bridges that I'm doing right here at North Memorial, it's only 4 of us. Now, I'm gonna say the one at North Memorial, because we're small staff, we don't have enough inspectors, it should be 6. I should have my own assistant doing just the earthwork. I shouldn't have to be running all the place and work on the structure side, but it depends on the project. Like the bigger scale projects, Southwest Line. Hennepin County has, to knowledge, well, since consultants are involved in that, last time I checked, there's at least over, I think there's 5 firms involved, over 35 inspectors on that one. And it's just at different phases. So you bring an inspector. So in my projects, like one currently was 6, Flying Cloud Drive, we had 12. We had 12 inspectors. Because you have 6 inspectors just do all the earthwork, and you have 6 inspectors that do all the structures. So it depends on what the specific project is and the needs, and how technical it's going to be too.
All right, well, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir, for coming today. And I know that we have some other topics that we're going to cover on the agenda, but before we do so, Julian, you want to ask, or Khalil, ask to introduce our new guests?
Would you like to introduce yourself, like what your name is, what you do?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Good to be
Admiral.
here. My name is Adimola Adedura. I'm the Vice President for the NSBE Twin Cities Professionals Chapter, and I'm also a product design engineer at Collins.
What's your background?
Well, my background, so I always forget about
That's
that.
okay.
Yeah, my background is in aerospace engineering, so aerospace engineering. And so, yeah.
He wants to go into that.
Oh, yeah, I spoke about that in the last few meetings. So, yes, we need more aerospace engineers. So be happy to see you chase that path.
All right, fantastic. Gentlemen, you want to introduce yourselves and your role? I know he saw you last night, Julian, but.
I'm Julian Persons, I'm the president. I guess I'm a junior at Minnetonka, and after I graduate, I'm looking into 3D modeling and animation. Nice to meet you.
I'm Will Soball. I'm a junior at Southwest, and after I graduate, as I said, I want to go into aerospace engineering.
Fantastic. And so typically the next step, when you have a guest speaker, you would ask your guest speaker if they would like to stay, or they're certainly welcome to leave at their convenience, because people come in, they're very busy, they have active schedules. So Brother Daley, if you would like to stay, you're welcome to stay, or you are certainly also welcome to leave. We do have an application for the NSBE Twin Cities Professional Chapter right there for you. So just in case,
Thanks, Mike.
oh, here's the pen to write down your contact information and leave with Bailey if you are so motivated or interested. anyway, I'm always recruiting, so I know him
Good.
extremely well. So should you be interested in that, we're always looking for volunteers for the NSBE Junior chapter, but certainly I'm sure Adamola and Bailey would love to grow membership.
Absolutely.
Yes,
We
yes.
need more seasoned professionals like you, Mr. Daley.
No, he's just old. He's not
Seasoned,
seasoned. No, I'm
seasoned is
just
the
kidding.
word. Experienced professionals.
All right. So Julian, do you want to take us through? So the way that you're going to work the agenda is each bullet point, if it is not something that you have been prepped for, you or Khalil, then you will defer to me until we get a good cadence. So anything that comes up on the agenda that doesn't have a name next to it, you can just deflect to me, okay?
All right. So announcements upcoming.
So do you have any announcements, maybe something that might have happened last night that you want to address?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, oh my gosh.
Today's Sunday.
Oh, wow, yeah, it's been a blur. It just feels like it was last night. I'm still on cloud nine.
Yeah, so over here, we have these flags. Unfortunately, you couldn't get the entire opposite. But yeah, there's everyone got back and then gift cards. So you, this is yours.
Oh.
Doesn't need this. That's good. I would present you yours, but yours was actually given to you last night in your gift card, so. But we do have the rest, they're not here, so we can certainly make sure that they get those. So Michaela's a very active sports person and she has a tournament or something. It's either track or, I think it's track. Delmaria is in a play or something. And who's the third one that's up there?
This one is mine too, but.
It's the forum.
Oh.
It's weird to present it to myself.
Oh, well, no, we can't. I don't know. Bailey, do you want to?
Sure.
Yeah, Bailey.
We can do it together. Yeah.
How about we do this? You present that to him and then we'll have Khalil join and we'll do a group picture.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, we said on Friday that since all our founding members of the NSBE Junior
Such
wanted to do all this as members of the year, to make sure you guys knew that, so.
That's what Julian did win member of the year as a new board member, so. All right. Fantastic, yeah. Khalil, do you want to grab your plaque? You guys, yeah, it might be good to balance
Bring
it
them
out.
out, yeah. there you go.
And if we could all just shift that way so we don't have to open the door. That's good.
So particular.
Well, you know, these things hit social media. It's like the last thing I want to see is like a bad picture that I took. No, I'm just kidding. We'll drop it down. All right, 1, 2. Fancy iPhone portrait one if I can actually pull that off. We have a number of Android fans that give me continuous grief about joining Team Android. Adamola, if you could just build it, yeah, there we go. And did you guys coordinate colors today? I was just like, the maroon is
Oh,
popping.
yeah. Yeah.
I felt bad on Friday 2 days ago because somebody asked, like, they were having the trivia. Thank you very much. They were asking trivia, like, well, what region are you in? And I knew the collegiates would be all over that. And I waited, I literally waited.
To answer the question, because you
And then-
know.
And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll raise my hand. Then I went and rated them for t-shirts, so.
Good. We have a lot of t-shirts, so that's
Yes,
fine.
yes, yes. Well, you joined the NSBE
They're not in my car
TCPC
anymore.
chapter.
You'll get a
We'll
shirt.
definitely- We'll get him a
They're
shirt.
currently at my house. I should have brought them today.
All right, let's move expeditiously through the agenda.
All right, the next is the scholarship. Pass it on to you.
The Dunwoody?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, through the Minnesota STEM Partnership, we have been recruiting, and this applies to any person. This would be good to get it out to the NSBE TCPC. chapter with the more, what did you call them, mature or seasoned people that may have 11th and 12th graders.
Mhm.
And so we are one of 2 organizations that have a special relationship with Dunwoody, and they're offering our students or anybody that we can recruit a $20,000 scholarship. The twist that we did learn is that it is for the primary scholarship to get the whole 20 over 2 years is free and reduced lunch. And so I have a meeting, I don't know I've already corresponded with Minneapolis North's principal, Maury, and she is all excited about it. However, we have also been doing social media and whatnot, but it is a legit scholarship. It is at Dunwoody. They have electrical engineering, robotics engineering, computer technology. So it's really designed for the students that are local, want to stay local. They want a good quality education, but they may not necessarily feel that they, or have done the research to go to like a 4-year or U of M. They may not feel like they want to go to that, but pound for pound, dollar for dollar. The reason why Dunwoody has put us out front is because Dunwoody by legalities cannot just say, we only want to recruit Black and brown people. And so we have membership that is already Black and brown. So we can actually recruit through our membership. So what we do is we go into the schools, they join Minnesota STEM for free, and then we can offer them this scholarship. They have to come through us to get the scholarship though. The other part of it is there is a deadline. And so the deadline is May 6th to apply for the P2C program. And then you're not applying to Dunwoody, you're applying to the Pathways to Career Scholarship Program. And if you get accepted, then that's a big win. So we are still recruiting. We've had a young man who is perfectly eligible, and he says, well, through co-parenting, he has to go to Arizona starting like right after the 1st of June. And we don't know what's going to happen, but we do want to get as many students as we can in there. We need like 2 more students now, 2 or 3. We did commit to 5. And so it's one of those things where we're just trying to get the word out as quickly as we can. And we only have like 2 weeks to go. We are offering a in-person meeting every Wednesday at 5 o'clock to 6:30. We do have food. So if you do happen to know anybody, and I know you're well connected, but that's the deal is, if we could possibly find more students, again, they are accepting all students, and there's a potential that even students that fill out their FAFSA and don't necessarily have, the free reduced category, there are other scholarships available. One other bonus is any female that we refer to them and they apply to P2C, they will also be asked to apply to their WIT, Women in Technology. They can still go after the same engineering certifications, but they also will get a $20,000 scholarship. So a Black female, brown female may get a full ride to Dunwoody. If they're passionate, that's the one thing that they're scanning for, is like, they're not just looking for somebody to sign up to get numbers. They're like, through the interview process, they will ask them specific questions to validate that at least they can conversantly show interest and passion for the engineering field. So it's been a long time coming. I think we have 3 that are going into it. And so we had one, hey, I'm Anita. We have one that just recently is, like I said, might be wavering a little bit, and I don't know if they can do virtual, but that is the Dunwoody, the full story behind Dunwoody. So
This is P2C
P2C,
Okay.
Pathways to Career.
on the website right now.
Yep.
Send some links.
And there are only 2 degrees on the Women in Technology one that they can't go after. They cannot go after the fashion one. They have to go after something tech
Mhm.
or engineering. That's basically the short answer.
Got it.
So like, I think one of them might be a food one and the other one might be like an art-based one. So that $20,000 scholarship stacked on top of the other one is actually going to be pretty valuable. So, all right. All right, Julian, that's the Dunwoody agenda item.
All right, so next up is communication, just getting that figured out. We've been working or planning behind the scenes, and it was originally going to be a question to go out to the membership, just for the chapter, just if we wanted to have a newsletter go out, like every week, every week, just sending emails out what the agenda is for meetings. Or if we
Mhm.
wanted to have a Slack channel set up where, have
Yeah.
we were originally gonna have people like have a vote for which method they prefer. That's
So I would suggest that you keep track of that and table it for the next e-board meeting in 2 weeks or whenever the next one is,
all right.
the second Sunday. Because we do need to solve that. The adult chapter has a group meet channel, and that seems to work pretty well. We've used group meet for many things, but, well, let me say, in my personal life, I've used group meet for a lot of things.
Mhm.
And I recently just came back because the TCPC chapter actually uses it pretty effectively.
Mhm.
What does a collegiate chapter do? Are they all just email?
They have a newsletter, they have Facebook, Instagram, like most social media. I'm not sure if they have below group me. I don't actually know how they communicate. But they have a really good newsletter that they send out. I think they're just monthly though. Our chapter is every 2 weeks we do a newsletter, so every week is kind of hard, I would say. That's my one suggestion,
All right.
to fill the content and keep it interesting. The group me is nice too. Slack, Discord, any of those.
Okay.
WhatsApp, yeah.
Or WhatsApp?
It's what your members want to, what they already have, I guess. Just,
Yeah, what you prefer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we have a new guest that entered the room. Before we go to the next bullet, Khalil or Julian, would you like to introduce our new guest?
Would you like to say your name and what you do?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Amanita, and I am the robotics coordinator. And I also help with program services coordination.
Fantastic. And who is our mini guest, the mini me over there? Mini you.
She's usually not shy, but this is Amira. You say hi, Amira?
hi, Amira.
So future engineer right there.
Absolutely.
We've had her doing some scratch programming on the MIT site. So
Are you serious?
we at Minnesota STEM, we have actually tried to be very family friendly. I'd much rather have the talent and knowing that not everybody has a, linear life.
Mhm.
And so we have a little daycare area. We've got the little colored pads and the Duplo Legos, but Amanita is here every day, and we just want to make sure Amira, when she does come, has the opportunity to learn stuff while she's here. So hopefully one day she'll be the Minnesota STEM executive director. Wow. What did you call us, Bailey? The
Seasoned.
mature seasoned. Yes,
Seasoned.
while the seasoned professionals are
Wise, yeah, I could say wise too if you want.
wise.
Smart.
Not really. You can be old and unwise.
And unfortunately, I have another engagement, so I want to thank you all for inviting me, having me, thank you once again. I wish you all the best. If you need my contact information, Dr. Wolf has it. I'm more than welcome to answer any questions or even be available if possible. So, but thank you so much. Have a great one. God bless. I love you.
All right, sir. Love you back.
Need me again.
Will do. Thank you for your very, well, so Julian, this is where you would say thank you for coming.
It's like, for
Nice meeting you.
Quick round of applause.
Oh, there you go. That's always a good transition.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Good luck. Nice to meet you.
It's in the.
Thank you, Fred.
We have one request. I think it's. Let's see, it's on Instagram. Because if it's on Instagram, it'll be the newsletter this week.
All right.
And I just sent an email about it.
Okay, we should continue to move the agenda along here. Next one.
So, FLL tournament is, I don't think that one's been.
My bad. So the NSBE 48th convention. Do you want me to cover that one or you good? Okay, so officially the chapter had team number 2 won an award. So they won the Rising Star Award, which is much like what you would be familiar with, the engineering award, or the, basically it's an award that is given to a team that has a lot of potential, but they didn't quite make first, second, or third place. And so we're very proud of them. We had a big ceremony last Saturday when we did sumo, or maybe that I've been getting my days and weeks wrong, but I believe that was a week ago Saturday. And Amanita, do you want to share what each team got, maybe if off the cuff, freestyle?
Oh, yes, so for the first place with the 2 teams that we had, they got a certificate along with a gift card, an Amazon gift card, like $25, and then we gave the second team certificates as well, and Amazon gift cards for them, and they got $10. And then we did, no, that was for the BDPA.
They're $10. BDPA was kind of slacking. They hadn't sent 2 of the students who had been asking every week, like, where's my gift card? Because I will ex BDPA. Well, you never ex, but they were my previous
So
organization.
we provided that to them, but they were on the team, so it's like they kind of doubled up on quite a few gift cards that day. So that was kind of cool. We just did like pizza, type of celebrations, took pictures, so it was fun.
They also got ribbons, and you found
Oh,
them
yeah, we
ribbons.
did. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We also provided them with medals, robotic medals as well.
Nice. These pictures?
Yes, we
On
will
our
send
social
those
media.
to you.
Yeah.
Make a note.
Yeah.
They have been going out on social media, but I need to make sure our person is always tagging the TCPC chapter.
Okay.
I think she's hashtagging it, but I don't think she's tagging because of the way that their tool that they're using, so. And NSBE Junior chapter training. So Shanetta isn't online, but we did have one person that went to Los Angeles or to Anaheim. And she is our virtual social media person. And she does a lot of other stuff, but her main thing is gets our name and branding out there. Her name is Shanetta Spriggs. Her and her husband, her husband's in the military, but she does, they have this media company called Main Course Encouragement. And it's really more about nutrition, relationships, family, and all that kind of stuff. So she went there and she received all of the NSBE Junior chapter training. And so we were hoping to have time this past week to get together and do that. But I think we're going to have her do a guest appearance on the May meeting. And then we're going to go harder on recruiting for NSBE Junior meetings. Again, this year, before you 2 joined, I did apologize to Khalil and Julian, the fact that we've just been so busy. I'm usually like always not harassed. I'm just on the cusp of harassing, but all of our students that haven't put this on their radar ahead of time are always busy, and it's ACT. If it's not, the good thing is it's ACTs, finals for team sports. And these 2 represent all of that as well. So it's kind of a little bit tough time at the end of May. So I'm willing to give a gimme for that, but I would like to make sure that we do have a good, strong attendance for our May meeting. And then I've taken the ball and we're going to run with that. And Amanita and I also haven't had a chance to jump on Constant Contact and get the newsletter formalized and get that out the door for you with Delmaria. Delmaria has been a very solid member of the e-board, but today just had, again, we're hitting some type of spring peak. So
Would you want any NSBE TCPC help with like chapter training or like, I don't know, like what, like shadowing our meetings? Like, I'm not sure if that would be
I think,
fun.
I think that's an outcome of one of the things that they learned was, and if I'm not mistaken, Tamar at the last meeting, Julian or Khalil, if you remember that, he did state, we were talking about officer elections. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And during officer elections, we were thinking, oh, well, we would just go through training or whatever, but Tamar did offer, I believe, that when you go through the TCPC training,
Mhm.
that the training is very similar, that the RE board would participate in your training.
Okay,
If you're okay with that,
yeah,
we'd love to take advantage of that.
yeah. We could-
And then do a breakout session. So like anything that'd be adult or PC related,
Mhm.
we could have our own little corner breakout session and make a day of it
Yeah,
type of thing.
definitely.
When, do you have that scheduled already?
So it's our transition weekend. Our new board, which was selected this past weekend, so we'll probably do like a transition in July. 'Cause we officially start and kick off in like August.
Okay.
We'll do like some stuff over the summer to kind of like, ease them in and do an official transition in July usually is when it happens.
Are these evenings, weekends, daytime? When are your meetings?
Our current board meetings now are on Mondays, but our transitions have been during the weekend? No, it was last summer. Was it during the weekend? It wasn't the weekend, so that was December too.
Yeah, with the real was.
Yeah.
Weekend.
It is like, so our last one was in December. It was like our strategy meeting and that was about honestly 5 hours of us just like planning out our entire year. It was very productive, but it was also very long. And we can have like, maybe like a transition weekend, like maybe like one day is just NSBE overview, and like the next day is like TCPC and like NSBE junior focus. We can do that to make it like shorter. I'll talk to you about that
Yeah.
and schedules of like how to not
Sure.
conflict basically. So.
Sure. And also too, if you don't have a preferred place, this space is always available
I was
to you
gonna ask
too.
you about that. That'd be great
Yeah.
because this is a good.
So automatically
space.
going forward, the only thing is just let me know when you need a space.
Mhm.
So I will, not that we will not ask you ever again, but just know that if you need a space, this is always available to you.
Okay,
We may be in a situation where we may need to have a meeting out there and here if they
Yeah.
have like all the robot stuff from the week.
Mhm.
But July is a boot camps. And so we
Okay.
generally have a lot of high tech stuff, but the
Okay.
space is always available.
okay.
So,
I'll let you know. We'll get a calendar set up.
okay.
I don't have a date yet. That's my answer.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what's our next agenda item, Julie?
The aspirations and computing, that's.
Okay.
the Chapter advisor. That's.
That'd be me.
Yeah.
So the other thing is you're going through the agenda, when you hear meet, so I'm gonna share this only because we all know each other, we're all family, we're trained, we're mini training here as we go. But if there's this thing about somebody that goes on and on and on, and I do have that ability, right? So if you see the time is like now 4:00 and we've spent an inordinate amount of time on a topic, we will work on how to professionally interrupt people. So both of you just keep a mental note on how to shut down a conversation, put it into maybe a parking lot or follow up or like, hey, that sounds great. Let's do a breakout meeting, right? This one was pertinent because we're all here. This is more family, but in the future, if we have a lot of students, we're going to turn off a lot of people by having the run-on stuff. So, okay. And I just feel free to use me as a textbook example of that. So the NCWIT, we've had some pretty incredible things happen. We did nominate Zoe Gibson. Zoe is a young lady who is also our intern. She's also a NSBE member, NSBE junior member. She just won again, academically advanced physics and heavy robotics. She not only won the local state championship thing for Dean's List, which is, an advanced student that has done a lot of community outreach, and Minnesota STEM being the organization that we are, she got a lot of credit from that. But she just was announced as one of the 10, I believe, worldwide winners of the Dean's List. And so it's academic excellence, it's robotics excellence, it's all the package. And so we're very proud of her. But through that, she got her start through also the NCWIT organization, and she is actually the state winner for that. So that young lady, we probably want to make sure that as she transitions into the collegiate levels and, create that NSBE identity with her. She came to us, I believe that she is Black and Asian, but she is also just coming into her own. And she is, we call her Z now because she is identifying with they, them. So she prefers to go by Z in public. Private family, she's still Zoe Gibson. I think her dad has some influence on that, as we've learned. So, you know, it's all good. We also have rising stars that came out of Minnesota STEM that are one of our both of our e-board members, Michaela and Delmaria, also won an award at the as an up and comer to the state award. So the e-board here is doing quite well, advancing through many of the activities. So that's what I have, Mr. President.
Next up, it's just the upcoming activities, kind of events. It goes on for a while, so if we don't have time, then we can send an email out. Just kind of going over everything we missed.
So quickly bullet each one. You don't have to talk about it, but you can read it and just remind everybody what's coming up.
Yeah, so
that already went past.
Yeah.
May 7th.
May 7th is sumo robotics and all that.
And in a lump sum, we're doing summer camps. Those are coming up. The dates are set for summer camp. We're still refining some of the dates. Robotics will be fairly heavy. We did just speak to our Amazon contact that we have been looking at 1080, but as a chapter, we may need to look at 1080 and Deep Racer and start to prepare for what it means to pick one or the other and then just go for it. There are 2 community festivals coming up that we may want to rally everybody to attend, or a few. Juneteenth is coming up. I hear that there's going to be a Juneteenth festival in North Minneapolis. I don't have any details on it. We were asked at the last minute to sponsor like a Twin Cities robotics tournament. I don't know how that actually happens when you don't have robotics trained unless we do demonstrations, right? But I think it's a huge opportunity to just recruit for NSBE Junior and Minnesota STEM. So if they happen, we will do those events. One key date that we do want to cover is STEM Day at the fair. We have an opportunity to bring out as many students in the morning and also to be part of that. So pencil that date in. And then the rest of it is just all activities. Part of this meeting that we were going to have after the meeting to talk about the first class pack and ThinkSpace was actually start looking at what the NSBE Junior chapter activities are going to look like, right? So you can ride the back of the Minnesota STEM activities, but it's going to be up to your e-board and then input from your general membership to start creating your own agenda. And so our strategic goal is to, by the next administration, so 2023, is that kind of they would be weaned off of the Minnesota STEM backbone. Minnesota STEM is going to stay there, but NSBE Junior is going to then have to move to some level of independence, right? So establishing the bank account, getting the signers, all of that, and setting up your own calendar. If it does work out where you can participate and you want to take advantage of certain opportunities that Minnesota STEM has to offer, excuse me, but the long-term goal is for you to be an independent, governed, self-governing with an advisor, with the adult chapter's guidance. And then also the last thing that I would have about the calendar is you work with Delmaria and you all figure out and ask the right questions to connect with the collegiate chapters, because there's 2 here. Friday night, we saw just an incredible number of students getting scholarships and awards and being recognized at the banquet. But that's the University of Minnesota chapter. And I know there's a seedling of collegiate engineers with the NSBE United UST, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
There is a pool of students that are there. I don't know if they're that well structured. I know 1 or 2 of them are kind of running it.
It's less active
It's less
than
active.
you of them. Mhm.
But you all may be the stimulus to get the collegiate chapter kind of back on track, because I know the dean of the engineering department, I'm a graduate, I have a bachelor's and my master's is from St. Thomas. And I know that we have plenty of opportunity to create a connection for you. And I think a lot of collegiates also may not want or know how to get together. Like in that situation, they all may be very busy, but if they know that every first Saturday, they're going to come here or whatever are your meetings are and participate in your meetings. And we can ask them about their college journey and all that. So you may also be able to help the older students by giving them opportunities to come and engage, which in essence will help you. Fair? Okay, so you will need to take, since we don't have a secretary online, Julian or Khalil, whoever's keeping notes, need to make sure that you work with Del Maria and we figure out a strategy for collegiate engagement. And Bailey or Adamola, who is the collegiate engagement person for the new administration?
I'm not sure yet. They have to have elections still.
Oh, elections, that's right.
For
We just-
PCI or for
So
engagement like
is there a
towards
collegiate so there's pre-collegiate
initiative?
initiative,
Mhm.
but there's also collegiate initiative contact, isn't it?
I guess it's maybe just the whole chapter of collegiate. Actually, it's a good question.
You mean for TCPC or for?
No, for U of M.
U of M and St. Thomas and Mankato.
Yeah,
Let me
I think
find,
Specifically the presidents that are the points of contact, but
yeah, let me just find that current e-board
Sure.
and then I can tell you.
I know that on the
The
email
departments are.
distribution, I think Tamar had me send something to collegiate@nsbtcpc.org. So,
For us, yeah.
well, that's. professional.
oh, that's for
Mhm.
professionals. Okay.
So the U, they have president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, public relations, membership, senator, academic excellence, and then community outreach is like their biggest stuff. They don't have like a collegiate.
Engagement.
It's more just the
Okay.
president of their collegiate chapter. We do talk to.
So we will just connect with them. We'll get the contact information
Yeah.
from Tamar and whoever the new PCI connection is.
Mhm.
Okay.
They should announce that soon. I'm thinking May.
Okay. All right, so Mr. President, we are at the end of the agenda. We are 13 minutes past our deadline, which to me is actually really good. I think you run a very efficient meeting, Julian and Khalil. So if you could bring two things that you always do at the end of the meeting. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the applause. It's always good to get applause. We're gonna have them so top notch. This thing's gonna be running like a machine, well-oiled machine. At the end of every meeting, generally the president or the vice president, whoever's in charge, wants to know, one, identify the time and make sure that the audience is recognizing the time value. Two is when is the next meeting and when does the next meeting time start at? Right, so that people can say, hey, they have no excuses, right? We told you. So that is why the agenda is laid out like that. And then the president and or vice president, whoever's in charge of the meeting, we will ultimately introduce some level of Robert's Rules of Order, but not the formal ones until we get really going. But then somebody would make a motion or request a motion to adjourn. And then the secretary would document the time and all the other action items that have taken place. So since you're here, Mr. President, you can close out the meeting in a traditional way. Or the way you choose. There might be something new we can learn, right? Or a little.
All right, well, if there isn't anything that anyone else has to add, then yeah, next meeting is gonna be
The next meeting is likely also to be in St. Paul. We had made a commitment to alternate, but depending on who's attending, it might be here or it could be in St. Paul, but they should stay. They will be communicated to. Fair?
so next meetings on May 22nd at 3 p.m. at 3 o'clock p.m. Yeah, and be on Sunday. There isn't anything else anyone has to add.
Then you will call this meeting adjourned. Thank everybody for coming. safe travels, grab an extra bottle of water on your way out, whatever, we might, extra cookie.
Yeah.
Whoever's running low on blood sugar, we do have cookies that we didn't bring out.
So, thanks everyone for coming. And, yeah, isn't anything, then I guess that's it for this meeting.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Job. All right. Do the two of you need a quick break? I would like both of your, well, you can walk, or did you ride your bike?
No, I get it right.
Your dad?
Yeah.
Or, okay. And they're coming right back at 5. So whatever, and your dad is coming at 5, right?
Mhm.
He usually gets here a little bit early too. But we will do everything possible to give the overview of the Think Space, the first program, because I need your help to review this and I need to make sure that your account is set up. And that's really all I want to accomplish is get you into Think Space into the first robotics portal. Make sure that account works. And then there is one screen that has like all the classes. And so I need your help in figuring out like what would be the best classes. Zoe did provide some, but I think we need to look at what the virtual type of training or some of the pre-boot camp stuff should really look like. So as students have time close, after school is over, they have access to the portal and they can do the online CBTs because it's all, it's all training. It's all self-paced training. We can go through it as a virtual class, but I want to make sure that we have that it's set up and it actually works actually. So that's kind of, you gotta be guinea pig. So, let's see. So Adamola, Bailey, you're welcome to stay. Certainly. We're going to just go over some things. Mira's actually out cold. Anita, before I dive in with these guys, is there anything you need me for?
No, not at the moment.
Are you able to stay past 5?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll be done somewhere 4:45 to 5. But if you need me for anything, just come and interrupt and ask, like this is just freestyle.
Okay.
Okay, and you're welcome to stay, obviously, but I know you probably got better things to do. And if you need to take she has a blanket here, right?
Do we have any updates for that?
You can put my coat in the wagon too. If you need.
Yeah,
All right,
that's probably better.
do you guys need a quick bio break or anything? Need a glass of
sorry.
bottle of water? Okay.
Yeah. That's really
Ooh, so that thing did get big.
Oh, I passed out when I got home. I was exhausted.
All right, so neither of you got an invitation for Think Space, right?
Yeah, see.
So
cute.
In your email, you didn't get anything? Okay. Oh, let me stop
I
sharing.
think we're gonna head out, Michael.
Okay,
That's okay.
that
Do you
is
need us for
fine.
anything, or do you want us like to stay?
Oh,
Do you
well,
need us? Do you
wow,
need me?
I wasn't even on that wavelength, but yes, if you would like to say anything,